Well, we've been talking about this over our last few interviews, the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation. And just recently, he finally got sentenced.
Yeah, how much time you get?
He got 2 years.
Pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Probably get to go to camp.
Well, he's already done 13 months, and he's got 2 years total, and his lawyer's saying he's getting out next July.
Sounds about right. He on 2 years, you usually do about 21 months, not counting halfway house.
Right. So he'll probably be in a halfway house by July is what they're saying.
Well, really, he probably could be in a halfway house before that, because you can get a year halfway house now with the feds.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
He told on everybody.
Not surprised.
He took down the whole 9 Trey Blood set, which was the oldest blood set in New York.
I'm not surprised. I think we talked about that before.
Yes, we did.
And I told you he probably would.
You predicted it. He was considered a phenomenal witness. Not only did he tell on everyone who got arrested, but he actually brought light to crimes they didn't even know about. He implicated people that were not being charged.
Wow.
He went all out. We actually had some of the audio footage from his from him being on the stand, which was sneaked out somehow because you're not allowed to tape in New York. But it was crazy listening to it. This guy really brought down everybody, and people were getting football numbers.
Wow.
15 years here, 12 years there.
Well, that's better than the 80s. The 80s, they was like 20, 30, 35, 40, so still better.
Yeah.
Still better numbers. 12 was much better than 20.
Yeah. So none of this actually surprises you?
No, I saw it. I mean, I lived in the feds for 20 years, so I saw guys walk in. I've been in the holding tank when whole groups come in, the whole organization.
Mm.
And, we sit in the holding tank and we be like, who you think gonna tell?
Well, without him, if everyone else had remained silent, there's a reasonable chance that people would have gotten either dismissed or slaps on the wrist or...
Not dismissed, nah.
Nah?
No. When the feds come, they got some evidence.
98% conviction, something like that?
Yeah, and with the feds too, right? The feds don't have to have solid cases like the state. See, people be looking at the state cases and they be like, oh, well, they didn't have this and they didn't have that. The feds don't really need that. The feds can bring in witnesses that can describe the scenario, and then the jury is allowed to infer what could have happened. It's not like that they have to show you what happened, but you can look at this and say, well, if this happened, if the ball got moved from point A to point B, somebody moved it. Who do you think moved it?
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
So it's a pretty good chance that they were all going to get found guilty anyway. And him testifying just amplified their evidence, where they probably was able to get somebody else to plead guilty that may have went to trial had he not testified.
What I found really interesting about this case is at one point there was a video that surfaced. And at the time, Tekashi was beefing with Chief Keef. And after a conversation with someone from their camp, he goes, "Oh, I got $20,000 for anyone who gonna do that shooting." And one of the guys, Kuda B, went and did that shooting. Tekashi then went and testified against Kuda B.
Wow.
That he
paid him.
He paid him like $10,000. Shots were fired. No one was hit. Tekashi's walking away with 2 years.
Kuda B getting
Kuda
15.
B is facing 20. That would be like me selling you a kilo of cocaine and then calling the police saying, "Hey, I know someone who's buying drugs from me." You get
That's the same way my case was, though.
You get 20 years.
That's the same way my case was. My informant called me, and he was selling the cocaine for the feds.
Yeah.
And asked me, hey, you want some cocaine?
Yeah.
But the only difference is that, see, if 6ix9ine would have already been an informant, he would have got the entrapment defense. But since he wasn't already on the payroll for the government, then he wasn't entitled to the entrapment defense.
Yeah, I just don't see legally how you get 2 years being involved, being the mastermind of a crime that you then testify against the other person and they get a massively big sentence compared to yours, but you are the instigator of the crime. I just don't get that part. And I feel that the message this is being sent out to people is that, hey, go and do as much crime as you want. Go crazy, cause havoc. And as long as you tell on everybody,
You good.
you're okay.
We've been like that with Sammy the Bull.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not the first times that this has happened. I mean, now it's more visible. More people are starting to learn about it. But our government has been working like this. You know, they've been using informants. They've been paying people. They've been using reverse stings. Because when the government is selling you the drug, that's called a reverse sting. Meaning that it's not in going forward the way it's supposed to go. They backed up and went the other route. So, but they've been doing this, and it's just the public now just catching up to what's been going on.